when you swing
All right,
it back,
hold on.
and I pick up like you reverse it,
Right there here by the
and
board
I
of
guess he
election.
expected me to keep going here, I must reverse it.
Anybody got this for me, just let us know here.
Oh, okay, so that one.
Alright.
Oh, the camera? Oh, okay.
A little red pick up
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
Yeah, and you are cost me because it's start when you swing it so back, you can't problem and walk out.
Anybody got any agenda? Pass it over. No, I can't pull that.
Thank you.
That's a special meeting. I don't know, it's not special meeting. Did you say elections? Yeah, it's special election special.
It's not our policy to call votes.
Special, special, not special.
Come on, everybody.
Alright.
Could you put your phone on vibrate? Everybody, please put the phone on vibrate.
In the Facebook, they got over there. Yeah. Actually, let's try to get it. Yeah, because I'm waiting for
Hello.
Watch your language.
That's a man, one of the secretary, Mr. Secretary.
Vice Chair,
How much like? Is it, I know.
get this, sir.
You know.
Good morning, everybody.
Excuse me.
Good morning.
Meeting, the District of St.Croix emergency meeting, March 25th, 2012, in call to order, Mr. Webster, will you call the roll?
Salary.
You will. Everything working? Steady working? You good with that?
Listen, but.
No?
Actually,
No, you will check that website. Unless you don't do coming up the way.
I will take, well, I'm going to take over secretary.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, you will know. Good morning again, the St.Croix District Board of Elections meeting is called to order. March 25th, 2020 is 9:40. Mr. Webster, could you call the way, please?
Mr. Liliana Belado de Neil, Roland Molinar,
Here.
Deborah Bryan,
Here.
Glenn Webster here, Lisa Harris Moorhead, Sir Bob Ross,
Here.
Sir Raymond Williams. Chairman, we have 5 members present, 2 members absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Anyone in the audience wishes to make the name present, gift, media, citizens, or otherwise? One at a time, please.
Mary Moorhead.
Evelyn Bascom, Wilson Citizen.
Odin Simmons.
Bodell Coleman.
Anybody else?
Erica Parsons, News 2. Dr. Manuela Perez, News 2.
Anybody else?
Bill Costa, VI Source.
Anybody else with a water cooler? What I mean? Fiona Stokes presents, she don't even want a cooler. Thank you. Valentina present. This morning we hear an emergency meeting on the abrupt resignation of Mr. Lee Weber the letter dated March 18 last week to Mr. Sherwood, chairman of the joint board. And since we don't have neither a supervisor of election available or deputy supervisor on Island St. Croix, we found it necessary, as the chairman of the district board, to convene this meeting to address some emergency matters we need to address. Basically, I know that we can temporarily have the board put someone in Mr. Weber's position until the joint board through Ms. Alicia will advertise these 3 vacancies: supervisor of election, deputy supervisor of election, St. Thomas and Croix, St. Thomas St. John district, and the district of St. Croix. Well, I have a concern because Ms. Johnson advised me last week that she would not be here because she's on vacation from today. So since the office is dwindling down, when we have the board present, I found it necessary to look around and see if we can find individuals who will have been interested that could have some time. I spoke to past and previous employees, not to mention the name, and they said they're already retired, resigned, they don't want to. They have some other scheduled appointments and employment that they may have to proceed with. So I find it necessary for us to be able to solicit someone with reputable experience to fill in since Mr. Wallace is gone. Mr. Evans is not here to perform the temporary functions until the positions are advertised, posted, interviewed, and filled by the joint board. So this morning I brought a copy of a resume that I would like to share with the board members. First is to Mr. Williams, Mr. Ross. What we can do is that we can, since you just get it, before we take a 10-minute recess, so all of you can go over that particular resume, and from there we can come back and entertain discussion and make a prediction today. So we take a 10-minute recess. We still have Governor Queen, Governor something.
Yeah, you got extra share, but nobody use it to bring down yet. You have a share on the side of the right way. Just bring it down. Somebody uses it. Huh? Maybe we got people like Raymond and say game for sure.
Yeah, for Raymond to put together a big space, right?
I'm gonna get even because you're danger for me this time. But that means that I like your show. Very good. Not serious.
This morning.
I mean to tell you that from morning. Color everything. You know you have that my color. Yeah, aquamarine is match, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that light blue, that's pastel blue, right?
So I'm
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, time.
No, My story's gonna be whatever. No, no, but it's not about what you're saying. But where, I was just saying, the airport was for a couple of
You don't have enough time?
To be back on the record to recess. I hope we know that those of you that are here that receive it have any concerns or any discussion on the resume, Ms. Carolyn Fox, Mr. William, Mr. Ross, Mr. Monica, Mr. West, Mr. William.
I have no issues with it, resume.
Yes, sir.
I have no issues with resume at all. Several considerations. I know for a fact that there is at least one staff member that is interested in filling the temporary position of the deputy supervisor. So that's one consideration, and that person has more than the requisite skills to perform in the temporary instance. And for just for information, and in terms of processes, we met as a joint board personnel committee last Friday, and I can tell you that no later than Wednesday of this week, the advertisements for the position will be posted. It is our intention to post his, make outside of posting and advertising, to review, to screen whatever applications come in, and make a recommendation in terms of several employees for those positions, and we hope to accomplish this before the end of April. So I personally, like I said, I have no problems with the person. I know the person very well, but I don't think that we need to go outside this office to seek someone to fill a temporary position. That's my position.
Mr. Ross?
I glimpsed through the resume. I don't have a problem with the resume or any other resume. I don't have a problem with the procedure. This board has the authority to recommend to the joint board the person to fill that position either temporarily or otherwise. I don't think the board has the authority to hire someone at this point in time. Therefore, if the board so seek to recommend someone to the joint board, I would support a request that the joint board meet expeditiously to act on this board's recommendation. I'm not prepared to support an action that I don't consider this board has the authority, which is to hire someone at this time.
Mr. Molina?
I
basically think your logic is sound, that we need somebody now. Got so many things that we have to take care of, and I would support this young lady, Carolyn F. Fox, but I need to know if we do truly have the authority to do so.
Or to go back and forth, there's no legal counsel here, and the chairman of the board, I believe, I have the responsibility to act swiftly enough. We can't continue to dwell with the staff and to dwell in the way. If somebody in this office is qualified or interested, I think that's more than reasonable, sufficient time. Since Mr. Abrams submitted his notice in December 31st, Mr. Oil left, he was here with these people. Ms. Maduro left, they know, and I need to move forward, so I would like to entertain a motion to make a decision right now. Once the vote is taken, that's the decision, this board making a recommendation to the joint. This board will make decision and send recommendation to be approved in the joint vote. So we not go back and forth, arguing back and forth. Motion, Mr. Oakwood.
I move that we appoint Trisha Johnson as an acting deputy supervisor and report that out to the joint boards for its deliberations and resolution at the next joint board meeting. So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr.
No.
Mr. Brown,
No.
Mr. Glenn Webster, no. Mr. Ross, Jr.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, Williams.
Yes.
Motion failed. Motion, next motion.
Motion, I think, like I said, I would support motion for Carolyn F. Fox for acting deputy supervisor, till postings and or hiring of supervisor and deputy supervisor positions are filled.
Objection.
Motion. Motion, Mr. Anybody second the motion? Need a second.
Motion failed. You need a second.
Get into Minda. Until I say fail, Mr. What's your second in the motion? What is second?
That's
Roll
probably
call.
objection.
Roll call. Call the roll.
I have objection.
So noted. Roll call, Mr. Mullen.
No, but you gonna hear my objection.
One in roll call, Mr.
No, you gonna hear my objection
Mr.
before the roll
Mullen,
call.
please call the roll.
Because
Mr.
what is
Mullen.
necessary here is that, like Mr. Ross said, you can't hire an employee.
Mr.
That is
Webster,
a
call the
ridiculous system
roll.
to be an acting position.
Call
As
the
in,
roll.
Mr. Roland Melinar,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yeah.
Mr. Glenn Webster, Mr. Ross,
No.
sorry, no, Williams.
Definitely not.
The chairman, you have
Mr. Mullen,
three.
absent.
Yeah.
So you have 2 absent, 5 present, 3 no.
Two absent, 2 noes, 3 yeas, the motion carried.
The motion is carried to hire Ms. Carolyn F. Fox as deputy acting supervisor. This recommendation forward to the joint board, and the joint board will continue from there. I want to make it very clear, this lady that is here, read her resume. The people that I'm talking about, we need to have cooperation in this office. And I find it really capricious that when we need a meeting today, the lady knows that people is leaving and she disappeared on vacation. I haven't seen a vacation slip. And I don't have the vacation slip. And I don't know who is signing the vacation slips. We try to find a set of keys from here. Nobody seems to know where the keys from Mr. Whatever office is. The vehicle is parked in the parking lot. I, as the chairman, is going to have the people in the locksmith to come in this morning, change those locks, those 2 doors, and until we bring Ms. Fox here, she will get the keys. I would remain in control as the director and the chairman of this board until it is correctly done. I don't have a lot of time for big games with employees. I spoke to employees, past and present, and none of them had interest. We had a demonstration at the fair when the individuals who decided they already planned something for the fair weekend that they couldn't come to the fair. And I know at the farm, I sit right here and what meetings perform. Recently, Ms. Johnson sent out a notice for this meeting under the signature of Mr. John Abramson. And she knew full well that Mr. Abramson don't come to work, haven't been here since he sent a letter from the doctor. And that's the way we're going to operate an employee that is here now. We will send a notice out to the media that the signature under Mr. John Abramson, phone a beating this morning, I thought something is definitely wrong with the qualification and the intention. So I really want to put that on the record. We need to be serious on this board. We need to move in a new direction, and I can't continue in that direction. When the time comes, if this board feel that I should be the chairman, you have enough people here, I'm just one vote and 6 other votes. But while I'm here, as the chairman, perform responsibility and fairness with all. So that's really what I want to put on the record. Mr. Williams, the floor is open for discussion or objection. Please show recorded and noted.
So much again, my voice.
Let me go.
You know, no, I'm seriously aside.
Okay.
Mr. Ross put it, and noted it on record. You cannot hire an employee.
That's what he said.
Okay, anyway.
Good.
Point well taken.
Sure.
At the end of the day, several things, and you like to talk about people being serious. I'm being serious. You call a special meeting. Trisha Johnson's application for annual leave was in long before the special meeting. I didn't see it. Okay. But I'm saying to you, bottom line is, you made comments about a whole bunch of stuff. Trisha is an employee of the system.
I know that.
Okay? Trisha has worked in the system. We're looking for somebody that's serving a temporary capacity. Okay? Carolyn is a hell of a candidate. I have no objections to that. But I'm objecting to the entire process because the process is moved and replete with illegality. You know, you cannot just want to bring somebody from the outside when we have people on board and staff that can do this job. And I'm not asking. I worked with these people for 11 years as a member of this board. And, you know, the issue about keys, and, you know, there's a whole bunch of things we can talk about here. Okay? We're meeting here in a special meeting, which I think is valueless, simply because we're going to meet next week in a regular meeting. There's nothing that's going to change between now and next week. Okay? That's number one. I think this is pretty much unnecessary. But bottom line is, you called it, we're here to deliberate. But I am not going to sit here and pretend, you know, this board has not even looked at things like budget. A budget should have been to the legislature already from this board. We're not doing the work of the board. We're doing a whole bunch of administrative stuff that is incomplete, unnecessary. Okay? If you ask for a request for a bunch of information, that information should have come from the last supervisor. The last supervisor resigned last week for whatever reason in a rush. You know, so your statements to suggest that the staff isn't cooperative or the staff in this and that, you can't hold the staff accountable for that. So, you know, that is my objection, and that is what I'm saying. You keep talking about being serious. This is not being serious. Being serious is doing the real work of the board. Okay? And I question whether or not, you know, if I don't really actually what the real work of the board is, outside of doing all this administrative stuff.
Yes?
I don't.
Now, you trying to suggest that you're questioning members of the board, knowledge of the work is all of it. And I don't have much problem with questioning anybody's knowledge. I know what I understand I'm supposed to do. I'm saying if there's somebody interested.
And I said to you she was interested. I told you.
I haven't seen anything written. She's telling you that.
Where else did you see anything written?
Well,
so how did you come up with this? How did you come up with this? Because we have no advertisement for our position. So how did you come up with this?
Mr. Williams, did you understand me to say that we need to have somebody reputable?
I heard all of that. My question is, how did you come up with this? Because if you could come up with this, 20 of these people here could come up with a resume to submit to
this board. Did you understand what I said, sir?
No, I guess I should do.
No, I said you should do, sir. I'm saying to you, until I wrote Ms. Alisa Wells, the joint chairperson of the Board of Election over a week ago, asking her to advertise the vacancies to be filled. Ms. Maduro left. Mr. Abelson notified Mr. Ross on last year, December 31st, of his intention to leave on May 34th. January 28th, Mr. Dr. Prasad sent a letter here telling us, can I finish, please?
But what's the relevance?
But you see, I let you finish.
No, but I'm asking, every single time you said the same thing, but come on, man.
But aren't you going to allow
No, because you spoke to advertising positions. I just said to you at the beginning of the meeting what the process is.
That's what your process is.
No, that's what the joint board's process is.
Well, it's not a joint board, Mr. Williams. I'm saying, if you let me finish, if you let
To elaborate on the same thing over and over and
could
over.
I elaborate? If you can't elaborate, then you're not going to elaborate. I can adjourn the meeting. But I want us to be fair with each other. I'm saying to you, sir, Mrs. Johnson spoke to me 4 times last week, and again last week when the police officer was here asking everybody where they were the keys. When I came here, they were in the office. Mr. Weber left some keys on his desk. When I came and I left with a document that he told me was on his desk, I said I found one of them when I went through the door. The same day or the next day they would ask me if I see a set of keys. I said the keys was on Mr. Webster's desk. After I find out that somebody in here should know.
What's happening?
Audience, Mr. Williams went to the question so you can hear me. I asked me about the keys. I said the key was Mr. Weber's desk. I saw a set of keys on Mr. Weber's desk. I assumed that he left the keys there because he was coming back, because I saw the vehicle in the parking lot. Knowing that the vehicle, when it's not being in use, as you sat there and tell us that 44 vehicle will have been taken to public court, the vehicle is still there. So when I see the vehicle there, I told them, and I said, since this is a game, I ain't going to report it to the police, and I said that keys were missing. The officer came, his name was Pato, whatever his name was, not Pato. Osborne, or whatever his name was, and they sent another police officer who reported to the supervisor that the office told him, the officer, that nobody called for police assistance. The office employees told me right out there that he didn't ask about that. And the officer was trying to clarify and called back the police supervisor, and he sent Officer Stout, who took a report, of the copy number of the report. This is the government lease. I know that we have to come for the keys, and if nobody in this office saw anybody in and out with the keys, then the keys can fly away and walk away. 3 individuals said they haven't seen the keys. Ms. Johnson, Ms. Tadman, and Marie said they haven't seen the keys. The only person the police haven't spoken to is Ms. Blanca Maldonado to the front. So if anyone I want to talk to her, ask about the keys, that's the only person that we didn't speak to or that they were the keys. That key belongs to the office. And as I said earlier, I already spoken this morning with the people at Lab Smith to come and open that door and change the 2 keys there until Ms. Fox get the key to the office and we bring some. Just like how we brought in Ms. Corinne Plaskett to come and walk and teach Mr. Weber to learn it. Nobody in here knew the Board of Election except Mr. Abrams, who said he knew it more than anybody else other than Mr. Tadman. So he's the only person who we're going to find somebody with that reputation of Carolyn Adams that can do the work until the posting, interview, and hiring of a supervisor of election and a deputy supervisor of election. That's all we do. And the recommendation we made to the board. Now, the joint board feel that they don't want Carolyn Adams, who way past qualification and criteria of Ms. Johnson, then so would be the case when the joint board meet to say they don't want a qualified career military person that control Guantanamo Bay, human resources, 32 years of military service, and there's no way that you find anybody in this office that meets that criteria. And if we're serious, that is why I'm serious.
And I will tell you,
career person.
I will tell you that you're absolutely incorrect.
Okay, so this meeting is stand. Thank you. Thank you, people.
So where you going? You're going to be way what? Are you serious?
You can John.
There has to be a motion and a second.
No, that is it. Not how you are running it. You're going to be a motion. So what is it? You making all this come at yourself? Personnel.